Have you ever wondered why your life feels like it's on repeat? Why every morning looks like the last and every night ends with the same empty exhaustion? Why, after years of playing it safe, you're still stuck, same paycheck, same debt, same hollow promises? And here's the hardest question of all. What if failure was never your true enemy? What if comfort was? Comfort is seductive. It whispers that you're fine, that tomorrow will take care of itself. It tells you not to risk, not to try, not to stand out. And so you shrink. You repeat the cycle. Wake up, scroll work, complain, watch TV, sleep. You call it life, but deep down you know it's a cage. The brutal truth is that comfort doesn't protect you. It drains you. It keeps you predictable, easy to control, easy to tax, easy to forget. And the longer you obey it, the more it robs you of the one thing you can never get back time. Failure at least gives you scars that teach. Comfort gives you nothing but regrets. Think about it. The strongest people you admire, did they rise because they stayed safe or because they stepped into the fire? They knew something most refused to face. The cage has no lock. You stay inside because it feels warm, but warmth kills ambition faster than cold. So here's my challenge. Stop confusing safety with survival. Start questioning every lie that tells you to wait, to hide, to obey. Because the life you want is waiting on the other side of discomfort. And if this truth hits you, don't just nod and scroll away. Subscribe, join this journey, and let's break the cage together. Have you ever looked at someone your age and wondered why their life feels miles ahead of yours? Same school, same hours in a day, yet somehow they own freedom while you're still chasing paychecks. Doesn't it eat at you when you realize time isn't the problem? It's the path you chose. Here's the brutal picture. Two people start at the same line. One takes the road of safety, a 9-to-5 job, a steady paycheck, weekends on autopilot, saving a little each month, hoping it adds up someday. 10 years later, they're tired, underpaid, and still begging life to notice them. The other person takes the road of risk. They fail more times than they can count. They start small hustles, invest in themselves, and push through nights of doubt. They get laughed at, told they're reckless. But 10 years later, while the first person clings to stability, this one owns assets, cash flow, and a life no boss can take away. Same hours, same years. Completely different outcomes. Why? Because the first played by rules designed for comfort. The second rewrote the rules for control. And here's the twist. Every day you stay on the safe road, you're already paying a price. Not just in money, but in regret. The longer you wait, the harder it is to change lanes. So ask yourself now, which road are you on, and which road will you regret not taking 10 years from today? If these words sting, it means you're awake. Don't let this awareness fade. Subscribe. Stay with me and let's keep walking the road that leads to freedom before comfort steals another decade from you. Have you ever felt trapped in your own life, like you're living inside a cage you never agreed to enter? Do you ever wonder why you keep following the same routines even though you secretly hate them? And here's the harshest question. What if the bars of that cage aren't real at all, but made up of your own choices? Most people think they're stuck because of money bosses or circumstances. But the truth is, more brutal, the cage doesn't even have a lock. The door is wide open, yet you refuse to walk out because comfort feels safer than freedom. You tell yourself, it's not the right time. Maybe next year. Maybe after I save more. But deep down you know those excuses are chains you forged yourself. Picture this. Every day you wake up, the cage door is open. You could start learning a new skill, build a side hustle, risk looking foolish for the sake of growth. Instead, you sit back down on the same bench, scroll your phone, and pretend the bars are real. That's not safety, it's self-imprisonment. And here's the twist. Freedom is terrifying at first. Walking out of the cage means facing fire, risk, and ridicule. But staying inside guarantees one thing: regret. 10 years from now, you'll either look back at scars that made you stronger or at bars that never existed in the first place. So, which will it be? Another day pretending the cage is locked, or the first step into the life you actually want? If you feel that fire in your chest right now, don't ignore it. Subscribe, stay close, and let's walk out of the cage together. Because freedom only belongs to those who dare to step through the open door. Have you ever heard that little voice in your head telling you, Don't risk it. Don't embarrass yourself. Just stay where you are. Have you noticed how soft and convincing it sounds like it's protecting you when in reality, it's trapping you? And here's the brutal truth that whisper is the reason most people never escape the life they secretly despise. Comfort doesn't scream. It doesn't chain you down with force. It whispers. It disguises itself as love, safety, and logic. It tells you, play it safe, wait for the right time, don't make waves. And you obey. You keep your head down at work. You push your dreams to someday, and you smile politely while your soul starves. The whisper feels harmless until you realize years have slipped through your fingers. You wanted to write that book, start that business, change your life, but comfort told you, not yet. And not yet became never. That's how lives are wasted, not by dramatic failure, but by quiet obedience to a gentle lie. Here's the twist. The whisper isn't protecting you. It's robbing you. Every time you listen, you trade possibility for predictability. And predictability is exactly what the system wants: workers who never rebel, dreamers, who never act humans, who never truly live. So ask yourself, how long will you let a whisper decide your destiny? The cage is open. The fire is waiting. But only you can silence the voice that keeps you small. If this hits you, don't just nod and scroll away. Subscribe, lean in, and join me. Together, we'll stop listening to the lie of comfort and start living the life that whisper never wanted you to have. Have you ever asked yourself what hurts more, getting burned once or slowly freezing for the rest of your life? Which is worse, a scar that proves you tried, or a numb soul that proves you never did? And here's the truth. No one wants to face. Most people choose the ice. Failure is fire. It sears, it stings, it leaves marks. But every burn shapes you, hardens you, teaches you. Comfort, on the other hand, is ice. It feels pleasant at first, cool, easy, safe. But over time, it numbs your ambition, slows your heartbeat, and leaves you too cold to move. Picture two lives. One person walks into the fire: rejection, mistakes, setbacks. People laugh at them, call them reckless, but slowly they transform into steel. The other avoids all heat, hides from risk, and stays safe. 10 years later, they haven't been burned, but they're frozen in place, lifeless, filled with regret. Here's the twist. The pain you fear from fire is temporary. The damage from ice is permanent. You can heal from failure. You cannot heal from a life unlived. So, which will you choose? A short burn that forges you into something unbreakable, or a lifetime of cold that keeps you fragile forever? The fire will scare you. It will test you, but it will also free you. The ice will never scare you, but it will kill everything inside you that was ever meant to shine. If this truth stirs something in you, don't silence it. Subscribe now, stay with me. And let's step into the fire together, because comfort may feel safe, but only fire will give you the freedom you've been craving all along. Have you ever told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? I'll try when the time is right. How many times have you promised yourself you'd change next week, next month, next year, only to wake up and realize years have already slipped away? And here's the brutal truth. Time doesn't wait, and it never gives back what you waste. We think we have plenty. We think we can delay the risk, postpone the dream, wait until the kids are older, the bills are lighter, the fear is gone. But look around, how many people do you know who waited for the right time and never took the leap at all? The illusion of time is the cruelest trap. It whispers that you can afford to wait, when in reality every day you wait is a day you'll never get back. Picture this: a man who swears he'll start his side business next year. 10 years later, he's still at the same desk, older, tired, with less energy and fewer chances. Meanwhile, someone else took action when it was messy, when it was scary. 10 years later, that person owns freedom. The difference wasn't luck, it was timing, and timing always belongs to the one who dares now, not later. Here's the twist: tomorrow never comes. The perfect time you're waiting for doesn't exist. You either move today, or you never move at all. So ask yourself, how much of your life has already been stolen by waiting? Don't let another day slip into the black hole of someday. Subscribe now, join this movement, and let's take back time before it takes everything from us. Because the clock is always ticking and comfort is counting on you to waste it. Do you ever feel like people can read you like a book? That your days are so predictable? Anyone could guess what you'll do next. Wake up, scroll, drive the same road, sit at the same desk, come home, repeat. Doesn't it scare you that your entire life could be summed up in a single routine? Here's the brutal truth. Predictable people are easy to control. The system doesn't fear you, it relies on you. When you're predictable, you're safe to tax, safe to manage, safe to manipulate. You become a cog in someone else's machine, turning endlessly but going nowhere. Think about it. Your boss knows you'll show up every morning. The bank knows you'll keep paying your loans. Advertisers know you'll keep clicking their ads. You've become a pattern, and patterns are simple to exploit. Predictability feels comfortable, but it comes with a hidden cost, your freedom. Here's the twist. Unpredictability is not chaos, it's power. The moment you break routine, when you choose to learn a new skill, start a venture, or take a risk that no one expected, you become dangerous to the system. You stop being a puppet and start being a player. Predictability buys you approval, but it sells your future. Freedom doesn't come to those who stay in line. It comes to those who step out of it. So ask yourself, are you living, or are you just following a script written for you? If this question stings, it means you're starting to wake up. Don't go back to sleep. Subscribe now, stay with me, and let's break the pattern together, because the price of being predictable is your entire life, and that's too high a cost to pay. Have you ever laid awake at night whispering to yourself, what if I had tried? Do you ever feel that hollow pit in your chest, knowing the chances you didn't take hurt more than the ones you failed? And here's the brutal truth. Cowards don't escape pain. They just choose a slower, quieter kind of suffering called regret. Cowardice wears a polite mask. It says, stay safe. Don't risk looking foolish. Don't rock the boat. And so you obey. You stay in the same job, the same circle, the same routine. You tell yourself you're being responsible. But deep down you know it's fear. Fear of judgment. Fear of failure. Fear of pain. The reward for that fear, a life that looks fine on the outside but feels empty on the inside. A paycheck without passion. A schedule without purpose. A body that ages while the soul withers. The coward's reward isn't safety. It's a lifetime of what-ifs. Here's the twist, the brave suffer too. But their pain has meaning. They fail, but they grow. They get knocked down, but they rise with scars that prove they lived. Meanwhile, the coward stays comfortable, unburned and untouched until one day they wake up old, realizing comfort was the cruelest punishment of all. So which pain will you choose, the sharp burn of courage or the slow bleed of regret? Don't wait until it's too late to answer. If these words sting, it means you've felt the coward's reward creeping into your life. Subscribe now, stay with me, and let's trade fear for fire, because regret is permanent, but courage can still change everything. Have you ever wondered why the people who seem fearless end up running the world while the cautious stay stuck, begging for scraps? Do you ever look at someone less talented, less smart, but braver and realize they're winning the life you wanted? Doesn't it burn inside, knowing boldness, not brilliance, decides who holds the power? Here's the brutal truth, the world doesn't reward the timid. It rewards those willing to step into the unknown, to risk humiliation, to embrace failure as fuel. Power flows to the bold, because the bold dare to claim it while everyone else waits for permission. Think about history, business, even your own neighborhood. It's not always the most gifted who rise, it's the ones who act. The ones who launch the business, ask for the sale, make the call, speak up when others stay silent. They fail more, yes, but each failure sharpens them while the timid stays soft. Here's the twist, courage isn't about not feeling fear. It's about moving with fear. The bold are terrified too, but they don't let fear write the script. And that single choice separates those who command life from those who obey it. So ask yourself, are you waiting for certainty, or are you willing to be bold enough to move without it? Because every day you hesitate, someone else is seizing the opportunities you left behind. If this stings, it means you've been playing small. Don't let another day slip. Subscribe now, join me, And let's step into the fire of boldness together, because only the bold inherit power, and only the brave inherit freedom. Have you ever told yourself, I just want a stable job, a stable income, a stable life, only to realize that stability feels more like a slow death than safety? Do you ever sense that the very thing you've been chasing, security, is the same thing keeping you stuck? And here's the brutal truth. Stability is poison. It doesn't kill you all at once. It works slowly. Stability numbs your ambition, lowers your hunger, and convinces you to settle. It tells you, don't risk it. Don't push further. Be grateful you have what you have. And while you cling to it, years slip away, opportunities vanish, and your potential rots in silence. Think about it. That stable job you're proud of can disappear overnight. That stable paycheck loses power every year to inflation. That stable routine keeps you so predictable, you can't even imagine a different future. What you think is a safety net is actually a trap designed to keep you tame. Here's the twist. Instability is where life actually happens. The moments that scare you, stretch you, and force you to grow are the only moments that build freedom. Every breakthrough, every fortune, every empire was born from chaos, not comfort. So ask yourself, do you want stability or do you want life? Because you can't have both. The poison of stability will keep you comfortable until the day you wake up with nothing left but regret. But the antidote is available right now. Courage, risk, and action. If this truth stings, don't just sit in silence. Subscribe, now stay with me, and let's break free from the slow poison together, because you weren't born to be stable. You were born to be alive. Have you ever looked in the mirror and seen a stranger staring back? Do you ever catch your own reflection and wonder, who did I become? Where did the fire in my eyes go? And here's the brutal truth. The mirror never lies. It shows you exactly what your choices have created, and sometimes that reflection is filled with regret. You can hide from others, but you can't hide from yourself. Deep down, you know when you've been playing small, when you've settled for less, when you've let fear make the decisions for you. The mirror doesn't care about excuses. It doesn't care that the economy was tough or that people doubted you. It only shows the reality of who you chose to be. Picture two reflections. One belongs to a person who took risks, who failed, and got back up, who carries scars, but also carries pride. The other belongs to someone who stayed safe, followed the script, never dared, and now sees only a faded version of the life they wanted. Same years, same time, but the mirror tells two very different stories. Here's the twist. The mirror doesn't judge you, do. Every glance is a conversation between who you are and who you could have been. That's why regret hurts so deeply. It's not about what others think, it's about the face you can't escape. So ask yourself, when you face the mirror tomorrow, will you see courage or regret? If that question burns, it means you're ready to change. Don't walk away from the mirror and forget this moment. Subscribe now. Stay with me. And let's build a reflection you'll be proud to see, because the only thing worse than failing is recognizing you never tried. Have you ever held back from chasing something you wanted because you were afraid of being laughed at? Do you ever picture the smirks, the whispers, the judgment, and decide it's safer to stay quiet? And here's the brutal truth. The fear of mockery has killed more dreams than failure ever has. People will laugh at you the moment you step outside the script. They'll call you reckless for starting a business. They'll say you're delusional for chasing a bigger life. They'll roll their eyes, shake their heads, and remind you of every time you failed. But ask yourself, who are these people? Are they bold, free, successful? Or are they just comfortable cowards trying to drag you back into their cage? Mockery stings, but it's also proof you're on the right path. Nobody laughs at the predictable. Nobody mocks the person who blends in. They laugh at the one who dares to stand out, because your courage exposes their weakness. Here's the twist. The same people who laugh today will go silent tomorrow when you succeed. Some will even beg to join you. Their laughter is temporary, but your regret would be permanent if you let them stop you. So ask yourself, will you let the shallow opinions of others decide the size of your life? Or will you accept the ridicule, push through, and claim the freedom they'll never taste? If this hits home, it means you've been holding back out of fear of judgment. Don't let their laughter write your story. Subscribe now, stay with me. and let's walk through the noise together. Because the loudest mockery always fades when the results speak louder. Have you ever wondered why every opportunity that could change your life looks terrifying at first? Why the path to freedom always feels like it's guarded by flames? And here's the brutal truth. Every door worth walking through is surrounded by fire, and that's exactly why most people never pass through it. The door of fire doesn't look inviting. It looks dangerous. Starting a business, speaking up, risking rejection, breaking routine, all of it feels like you're stepping into the heat. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and every instinct screams, stay away, so you retreat. You call it being practical when really it's fear. But here's what you don't see. The fire isn't there to destroy you. It's there to transform you. Every scar you earn walking through that door makes you stronger. Every fear you face strips away weakness. On the other side of the fire is a life where you own your time, your choices, your freedom. Meanwhile, the ones who refuse to walk through stay stuck. They keep circling the same safe hallway, wondering why nothing changes, while the bold step through the flames and claim what was always possible. Here's the twist: the fire only burns for a moment, but regret burns forever. Which pain would you rather live with? So ask yourself, will you stand outside staring at the fire, or will you take the step that most will never dare to take? If this truth sets something alive inside you, don't let it fade. Subscribe. Now stay with me, and let's walk through the fire together, because freedom never hides behind comfort. It always hides behind courage. Have you ever realized that every single day, whether you admit it or not, you're making a choice? Do you ever wonder why your life feels stuck yet deep down? No, it's because you've been choosing comfort over courage, safety over freedom. And here's the brutal truth: not choosing is still a choice, and it's the one that's costing you your future. Life is divided into two paths. One is predictable. You wake up, follow the script, avoid risk, avoid pain, and call it being responsible. The other is brutal. You risk failure. You face rejection. You push past fear. The first feels easy now, but steals everything later. The second feels painful now, but gives you everything later. Every day you stand at this fork in the road, and most people, without even thinking, pick the same path of comfort again and again until it becomes their identity. They say, "This is just who I am." But the truth? It's not who they are, it's who they've chosen to become. Here's the twist. Courage and cowardice cost the same. Both demand your time, your effort, your energy. But one pays you in freedom, while the other pays you in regret. You will suffer either way. The question is, will your suffering mean something? So ask yourself today, right now, which choice will you make? Comfort or courage? Safety or freedom? Regret or legacy? If that question cuts deep, it's because you already know the answer. Don't just think about it, act on it. Subscribe now, stay with me, and let's choose the brutal path together, because the harder road is the only road that leads to freedom. Have you ever wondered why some people rise, build everything they ever dreamed of, only to lose it all? Do you ever fear that even if you somehow break free, your success will slip through your fingers the moment you taste it? And here's the brutal truth. Making money is hard, but keeping it is harder. Wealth without protection is just a target on your back. The moment you start to rise, the world changes. Envy sharpens. Fake friends show up. Family members remember your number. Strangers want a piece of your win. Suddenly, the wealth you fought for becomes a battlefield. And if you don't guard it, you'll bleed it all away. That's why the rich build fortresses. Not castles of stone, but systems, contracts, boundaries, discipline. They protect their assets, their time, and their energy with ruthless clarity. They know generosity without limits leads to exploitation, and weakness invites attack. Here's the twist: most people think staying poor is safer. But poverty isn't safety. It's vulnerability of a different kind. You either suffer by defending what's yours, or you suffer by never having anything worth defending. So ask yourself, if you gained freedom tomorrow, would you be strong enough to keep it, or would you give it away piece by piece because you were too scared to draw the line? Wealth isn't about flashy cars or bragging rights. True wealth is a fortress, one that protects your freedom, your family, and your future. If this truth hits you, don't just nod and scroll. Subscribe now, stay close, and let's learn how to build fortresses together, because freedom unprotected is freedom already lost. Have you ever feared that one day you'll wake up and realize your entire life was lived for nothing? That all the years of safety, all the nights of comfort, all the decades of playing small led only to regret? And here's the most brutal truth of all. That nightmare is already reality for millions who chose comfort over courage. Life doesn't wait. The clock doesn't pause. Every choice you make writes the story of who you become. And by now you've seen it. Comfort is the cage, predictability is the leash, and fear is the invisible hand guiding your every move. But the cage has no lock. The leash can be cut. The hand can be broken. The only question left is, will you finally wake up? The final awakening is this: wealth, freedom, and power were never complicated. They were brutally simple. Face fear, step into fire, protect your fortress. Build, own, multiply. It's not knowledge that separates the few from the many, it's action. Here's the twist. You don't get infinite chances. You get one life. And every day you delay comfort steals another piece of it. At the end, you won't regret the risks you took. You'll regret the chains you never broke. So ask yourself, will you die inside your comfort zone or live boldly outside of it? This is the end of the cage and the start of your freedom, if you choose it. If this truth shakes, you don't let the feeling fade. Subscribe now, join me, and let's walk this path together. Because the world doesn't reward dreamers, it rewards doers. And today is the day you wake up.